Good evening. I will be doing my training project on leadership motivation among senior and junior soldiers in the Army. My name is Catherine Chapman, and I just wanted to take a couple minutes of your time to discuss with you about leadership and motivation. So here is a short video that I wanted to play for you. What is a leader and what type of leader are you? So I just wanted to get you guys thinking about leadership motivation. I thought that was a interesting video to watch, and just to kind of think about what type of leader that you are and what type of leader that you want to be. So the introduction my to my training in leadership motivation is leadership motivation in the Army is a very critical is very critical during peacetime and during wartime is a very critical component because you need to understand how to motivate your soldiers to be effective and productive. So, and also you need to having a good quality leader also helps with your communication flow, whether if it's from your junior soldiers to your senior soldiers, from your senior leaders to your junior leaders. So I thought this was a good a good a good quote that I found online. A leader takes people where they want to go. A great leader takes people where they don't necessarily want to go or ought to be. For my instructional design, I will be using the ADDIE model. I thought that this was a good model to use. I like how it was step by step to accomplish the overall training. It identifies all the training, all the needs of learning development. And also it was I like the clarity of this particular model. So like you see, you have the you have analyze, design, develop, implement, evaluate. So this is the model that I will be using for my leadership and motivation. Also, I wanted to touch on a couple of theories that I would be implementing in the ADDIE model, and that is transactional leadership theory, which is, like it says, are characterized by a transaction between leader and followers. I think this is very important because you have to also have a good flow of communication between your senior leaders and your junior leaders to be effective in an organization. And the next theory is the transformational leadership theory, the process by which a person interacts with others and able to create a solid relationship that results in high percentage of trust. Trust is very important because if you don't have trust, you won't really give a person your all or your best work ethic if you don't have that trust. And being in the army, that is very important given certain situations. You will have to be in. You want to be able to trust your senior leadership. So the next thing I will be discussing is the learner characteristics and abilities. So the training I will be conducting. I will be conducting the training for senior leaders, which are your E6 and above, and the junior leaders, E5 and below. And the learning characteristics that they will be very goal-oriented, practical. They will have competency and mastery, and very purposeful. I have designed this training to address their needs and to have the ability and have better cohesive organization, goal-driven, productivity, and better work ethics. So the next topic is the learning objectives. So the the object of this goal, the outcomes I hope to accomplish is having the junior soldiers should be able to explain the effects of positive leadership motivation effectively. Senior leaders should be able to be more productive in applying positive leadership motivation to junior soldiers. Senior leadership should be able to identify what types of leadership is effective in their soldiers. Also, given a set of 10 leadership motivation questions, senior and junior soldiers should be able to successfully identify what types of leadership motivation is needed to be effective in the organization. So those are all the things I hope to accomplish in this particular training on leadership motivation. My instructional strategies, for the instructional organization, the training will be very involved and active in the training. The training will be in the open classroom format. The trainer will also be promoting positive and self-opinion for the training, because I will be getting feedback from the trainees, whether it in a discussion form, in a question form. So it's going to be very active, and I would definitely want to get their opinions, the junior and senior soldiers. During the time, so in the military, there's always some particular time that training is set aside. So I hope to accomplish my training during one of those times, hopefully within that month, and it will only last for about an hour. The resources, I will be providing all of the resources, and they will not have to bring any of their own resources. The assessment strategies. I will be using the ADDIE model, and I will also be implementing formative and summative formats. I will be having a pre and post test. I will also be asking questions throughout the training. So here are a couple examples that I wanted to show you of some of the questions that I will be asking. What is the relationship between leaders and followers? Another question is, does a leader need to be motivated? How can leaders maintain themselves to stay motivated? And one of the last questions, should a leader have both transactional and transformational leadership styles? So I just want to give you a quick example of some of the questions that I hope to ask. And for my personal reflection and the conclusion, so I thought being a good leader is also a motivating leader. I do feel that they go hand in hand. It's good to It's good to want to help and motivate your soldiers and push your soldiers forward. It's also having a good leader is very beneficial. Like I said, in peacetime, also in wartime. Effective leaders can also help with achieving one's goal and pushing past limitations. The design of the project can be very effective to for people to understand the basic information about motivation and about leadership motivation. I was most pleased with the ADDIE model. I thought it was very beneficial. I really did enjoy how clear the steps were, and was easy to follow. I did think using these the soft chalk software was very hard, and especially in the beginning, it did take some time getting used to the different type of format. And I thought that it would have been a whole lot better if I was able to have someone that could have worked with me on understanding soft chalk a little bit better. So this is my training, and I hope you enjoy, and thanks for your time.